Welcome back to another episode of Business Beyond the Game. I'm your host, Eric Jackson, and today we're joined by one of the brighter minds in Italian football, AC Milan CEO, Giorgio Furlani. Giorgio, how are you?
Hey Eric, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and want to dive into it. But first, I really want to get to know a little bit more about yourself. Giorgio, you're somewhat in a unique position, right? CEO of a club that you were a genuine fan of long before you took the post. Being a Milan native, everything else. Like, what's that experience like? Like, I'm sure your 13-year-old self would be pretty proud to see you.
Yeah. So look, the original goal was to be the striker of the team, but I was no good. So I had to go for this career path. So yeah, look, I'm extremely lucky and privileged, and I have a big responsibility to the fans like the 13-year-old Giorgio. So I am a Milanese, so I was born in Milan, and I'm a Milanista, so I'm an AC Milan fan. My career had nothing to do with soccer or football until 5 years ago, 6 years ago at this point. I got involved. I became a director of AC Milan, and I became the CEO about 9 months ago. So yeah, I'm extremely lucky, very happy to be here, and trying to do a decent job.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. Like, prior to this role, right, you were a portfolio manager at Elliott Management and an expert in international finance. Like, how much do those skills just translate into what you're doing today?
Yeah, so there are elements of what I do that fundamentally involve negotiation and deal structuring that are the skills from before. And also, as I said, I was a director for a few years before I took this role. I was a very involved director, or as probably my predecessor would say, a bit too annoying director. So I learned from him, and I learned from my colleagues, and I came here somewhat prepared, or prepared enough.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. And obviously, AC Milan's got even more mainstream now, getting the attention of American soccer fans once again with the recent signing of Christian Pulisic, aka Captain America. Like, what media impact has his arrival just had on the business side from what you've seen just, in this recent time?
Yeah. So first of all, I important to say this: we signed Christian because he's an amazing player, and we really needed a guy like him, and we think he's really going to make the difference. So that's the main reason why we signed him. Now, obviously, as you say, he's one of the best players in the U.S. national team. He's on our team, so I would say the best player. And America, has really noticed that we signed him. So we've seen a bit of an explosion in kind of the numbers from an e-commerce perspective, from the numbers of jerseys sold in America, and 90% of the jerseys we've sold in America since his signing are Pulisic 11. So it's a really big effect, and I think, look, more is going to come, and look, we're very lucky to have him. Most importantly, because he's a great player, but also because he will help us in being more relevant in the States.
Yeah, no, definitely, right? Because, as your role as CEO, right, obviously he brings a lot to the pitch, but, how much, do you just look forward to the chance of leveraging that stardom in the States, right? You guys obviously doing the U.S. tour and, the drive business in this market seems like a nice play, potentially.
Yeah, don't call it a play. I don't want to make it sound like we signed him because we wanted to get additional commercial revenues in the States. But you're right. Look, he's a great guy. He's very well known, and certainly, like, when we come to the States with him, it's kind of a big thing, right?
Right.
So that's a nice little additional tweak and additional benefit.
Yeah.
But
No,
let's say it
definitely.
again. He's great at playing soccer, so that's reason number one why he's here.
Right. On the pitch, right? Definitely, for sure. And obviously, I'm based here in New York right now. Obviously, the New York Yankees, a big global brand. They bought in a stake in the club, through parent company RedBird last summer. How would you just assess that partnership 1 year in, and how much has that just boosted the brand of the club?
So the Yankees are, as you say, they're a shareholder in the club. They've been great so far. What we did, the first thing we did was through the Yankees, we started distributing AC Milan content on the Yes Network. The other thing we did is we started integrating our merchandising and retailing activities. So we sell some of our merch at Yankee Stadium. We're going to do the same kind of in reverse, so selling their stuff in Milan. We're going to launch a collab, like a joint collab in retail. And look, we have a joint task force, if you want, to come up with ways in which we can work together.
Yeah.
So this summer, as you know, we're going to play games in LA and Vegas, but next summer we might play at Yankee Stadium. And look, the world is our oyster to a certain extent in terms of what we can do with them. Eric, as you know, they're one of the greatest brands in global sports. We would like to say we're the same, and so look, a nice little marriage there, and hopefully a lot of exciting stuff to come.
Yeah, how far away are we from seeing the regular Serie A broadcast on the Yes Network?
Well, you'd have to ask Serie A because they kind of own the rights, and so we're actually in the middle of a process to sell Serie A rights for what they call the next cycle. So starting not this coming season, but the following season.
Yeah.
So maybe, why not?
It's a possibility, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. I think some Yankees fans would be interested in that. And, for you guys, just, obviously RedBird Capital, the parent company, has invested in a number of content and production companies from Spring Hill to Skydance. Like, with their expertise, right, Giorgio, like in storytelling and sports and entertainment overall, like, where can we see that being applied with AC Milan? Like, is there a documentary coming out soon, or is there, where can we see that being
Could
applied?
be. So what I'd say is RedBird is really at the core and at the center of the convergence of sports media, entertainment, and culture. And, we're part of their portfolio. They have all these other businesses in these sectors that are part of their portfolio. We are starting to. We've been working on a number of, let's call them joint ventures with our other portfolio companies. Don't want to give you a sneak peek yet, but there's some cool stuff we're working on, and they've been great at kind of facilitating sort of the working relationship with other portfolio companies. And there's definitely some cool stuff that you'll stay tuned basically.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. And I feel like you're diving right into international soccer and sports and media and entertainment, and your background obviously in finance too. From asset management to now being a CEO. Just so for you, just what's been like one of the better business lessons you think you've learned, Giorgio, just across your career?
Interesting question. So let me give you a few. First one is what I'll say is hard work is way more important than smarts or than talent. I've really learned this in my career. Somewhat related, in real estate you say location, location, location.
Yeah.
For me in business it's preparation, preparation, preparation. So really working hard and being prepared is important. That's number one. Number two, going again with a bit of a common phrase, which applies to business and sports. There's no I in team, and so you really, if you can perform well as a team, you perform above, let's call it the sum of the parts. Another one I would say is, look, business is about having a strategy, having a vision that is long term, and you really need to focus on that vision. It might mean taking difficult, painful decision in the short term that rock the boat a bit, but stick to your guns. keep on focusing on that long-term vision, which doesn't mean you don't sort of reevaluate constantly with changing
Right.
information, but, focus on that long-term vision. And then another one that I like to say is business is about people. People react to incentives. So kind of being mindful of what people's incentives are and setting the right incentives for people to perform better is key.
Yeah, right. Not just focusing on the metrics or the profit, right, per se. Also focusing on their career goals. I love that. That's really good stuff. Well, Giorgio, I appreciate your time, man. That's pretty much what I had, and it's always good to catch up. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Business Beyond the Game. Giorgio, thank you.
Eric, thank you so much for your time.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye.